Take a look at this border crossing between India and Nepal. For decades, it has operated without fences or heavy military barricades. The nations share an intertwined relationship, defined by the free movement of people, cultural ties, and a massive mutual dependency on trade. That historical stability was violently shaken by the arrival of a new, young prime minister in Nepal. Swept into power on a massive youth movement, he campaigned like a populist action hero, promising radical changes to the country's status quo. But his first major move in office left international observers stunned. During an official address to his parliament, he aggressively claimed that Nepal had successfully captured sovereign Indian territory. This choice creates an immediate strategic crisis. The leader of a landlocked nation, who relies on India for its very survival, has chosen to attack his primary benefactor on day one. The parliamentary speech was followed by a cascade of unforced errors. To project a tough guy image to his young political base, the prime minister intentionally flouted diplomatic protocol, arrogantly refusing to meet with senior Indian diplomats. Then he made a bizarre public request. He asked the United Kingdom, the region's former colonial power, to step in and mediate modern border disputes between Nepal and India. This sequence of calculated stunts prioritizes a local applause line over national security. By burning bridges with New Delhi, the new administration is gambling with the country's most vital regional alliance. The 1816 Sugali Treaty set the Kali River as the border. Upstream, it splits into the Limpiyadhura and Kalapani streams, creating a triangular wedge of land. Nepal argues the western stream is the true border, claiming this entire landmass. This is a British administrative survey map from the 1800s. These official 1860s maps designate the eastern stream as the definitive boundary, supporting India's claim. A centuries-old cartographic technicality over where a river starts is now the foundation for a modern territorial standoff. The land trapped in the middle of this geographical quirk holds immense value. It contains the Lipulekh Pass, an incredibly rugged but vital high-altitude access point in the Himalayas. India absolutely cannot yield this territory. It acts as a critical strategic tri-junction for Chinese trade, and it is the essential route for thousands of citizens making the Kailash Mansarovar pilgrimage. For decades, the two nations largely ignored the ambiguity. But by the 1990s, Chinese influence began creeping into Nepali politics, actively encouraging local politicians to frame India as an oppressive, interfering force. Politicians inside Nepal realized a simple electoral equation. Drumming up anti-India sentiment regarding this specific border triangle was an incredibly easy way to distract voters and win local elections. This rhetoric boiled over during the NOP wars of 2019 and 2020. After India updated its internal political map to reorganize Kashmir, previous Nepali governments retaliated. They officially redrew their own national maps to claim the Lipulekh region as their own. Domestic politicians seized on this mountain pass, turning a quiet boundary detail into a reliable campaign tool for harvesting votes. Which brings us back to Nepal's current prime minister. He fell into a dangerous trap. He believed the anti-India campaign rhetoric of his predecessors and attempted to execute it as actual foreign policy. He even threatened to heavily tax Indian goods crossing the border as retaliation for the historical dispute. This image of a bustling border crossing exposes the sheer absurdity of his threat. Nepal is almost entirely dependent on India for fuel, essential food supplies, and daily logistical survival. Executing aggressive campaign rhetoric on the international stage without actual economic leverage to back it up is a recipe for national self-sabotage. While the Nepali leader postures for the cameras and throws diplomatic tantrums, India has maintained a quietly pragmatic response. Behind the scenes, India is actively hosting members of the Prime Minister's own political party, working the back channels to maintain regional stability and keep trade moving. In the arena of geopolitics, cinematic posturing eventually hits a dead end when it collides with the reality of economic dependency and the fixed lines of a map.